in the midnight glow, with a gentle sway, stars above our show, night will guide the way, with electric dreams, sense and hearts align, Soviet echoes sing, love in perfect time. Dance with me tonight, under moon so bright. Hold my hand so tight, in this timeless flight. Glamour in the air, rocking gentle beats, opera voices flare, jazz in twilight streets. Metal's heart will pound, yet we glide so slow, lost in every sound. Melodies will flow. Dance with me tonight, under moon so bright. Hold my hand so tight, in this timeless flight.
All right, folks. Formaldehyde. Welcome to the stream, folks, tonight. It's the first week of college football, folks. Hold on, I just gotta get my stuff set up here. But welcome to the stream, folks, and today it's an overview and sports talk time in Tennessee. And it's the opening for week 1 of, hold on, and here we go, and we're on. As we wait patiently for Vols fan to join. As we wait patiently for Vols fan to join, folks, in temporary But ladies and gentlemen, it's time for sports talk, and what a opener! We had Florida, which we have games still going on right now. We have Western Kentucky and Alabama going on right now. What's the box score? So let's see the score. Currently, right now, it's 35-0 for these two teams. And let's check in with a welcome Vols fan. Michael Padre.
Hello, people of the.
You're cutting out a little bit.
We are back for.
You're cutting out a little bit. You there?
Hello, people of the internet.
Okay, there we go.
We are back, and we are for episode. What is this now, Mr. Playboy? Episode
1.
Is this episode 1 of Sports Talk that we're back? The return?
Yes. Yep, this is episode 1 of Sports Talk. Vols fan.
Guys, we are going to get into it, but I have first got to say for me and myself, welcome to the channel. This is what we're going to be doing, guys. The first ever episode of Sports Talk.
Yes, hosted by yours truly.
Mr. Playboy, I do want to give you a shout out. Thank you for letting me be able to come on today to be able to talk with everybody about what has been happening in the sports world. Guys, today marks day 1. We have finally arrived back with college football.
Oh, yes, and we also had week 0 with Florida State and Georgia Tech. And wow, what a game that was.
Yes, guys, before we dive down into each game, we are first going to start off with Mr. Playboy's screen here. If you guys are currently are already familiar with the situation, Texas A&M and Texas A&M and Notre Dame are going head to head right now in College Station. I would advise, if you do not want any spoilers or anything of the content we will be talking about, please, guys, go enjoy the game. They're live right now. They're duking it out for who's going to be moving up into week 2 and who's going to be taking a dive going into week 2.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, I'm not going to point favoritism because this is for a channel for the people, by the people, and for the fans of all college sports.
Oh, yeah. We also facing off. Also, we have Western Kentucky and Alabama, which is 0-35.
Yes. Mr. Playboy, would you care to bring up that score for us, please, if you would?
Oh, yes. Let's go. Box score, and here we go, is the score for Western Kentucky Hilltoppers versus Alabama Crimson Tide.
Guys, now, if you guys do not know, this is Alabama's first season, or you guys may already know about this. This is Alabama's first official season under the Dave's era. So what this means now is, guys, we are not familiar with this head coach, as this is his first official coaching year in the SEC.
Oh, yeah.
So we look forward to see how it's going to go, especially to when each of our personal teams or your personal team plays them later in the year.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Playboy, I have got to ask you, from watching this game and so far what you see of this Alabama team, what are your expectations for them going into this year?
Well, hopefully I can give respect to Nick Saban. Nick Saban has made this program a legacy. And now we're going to be seeing Georgia probably being the next big team out of this conference.
I'm going to throw this out there, guys. I am not a big Alabama fan, and I probably will actually.
Me neither.
But I do have to give their props to the program and for what they've done. They have done an unthinkable thing under Nick Saban, and Nick Saban by far will go down as, if not one of the best coaches in the history of college sports.
Also, he was a former Miami Dolphins coach.
Yes, if you guys do not know about Mr. Playboy's background, he is not only is he like me and he loves growing up for the Vols, but he also enjoys watching your Miami Hurricanes. If you are a Miami's fan, you might be able to join him in a live stream in the future to talk about more of the Hurricanes season.
Oh, yes, Miami Hurricanes. I mean, you gotta love the Hurricanes. I've watched a video, actually, how I got into the Hurricanes, as I watched a video talking about their history. And they were
Guys,
a powerhouse.
Oh, yes. Guys, if you also don't know from our days at Powerhouse Station, or if you do not know about Powerhouse Station, go subscribe to Powerhouse Station's channel. Link is in the description. From my background, I grew up as an Oklahoma Sooners fan. I've watched Oklahoma sports most of my life while also cheering for the Vols. So everybody knows on the Tennessee schedule, eventually you're gonna have to decide who do you want to win between Oklahoma and Tennessee. Well, guys, I will at least tell you at the end of the day, most of my life I have grew up in the volunteer state. Nothing's ever gonna take home out of my heart. I love Oklahoma, and I wish if they were to win, I would accept it too. That game, I could go either way, but obviously, because I grew up in the home state of the Vols, it's got to go for the Vols for me.
Oh, yeah.
But enough of that, guys. I know you guys are here. Let's talk scoreboards. Let's talk teams. We're going to first off with the major elephant in the room, and that is Florida and the Miami Hurricanes. Mr. Playboy, would you care to bring up the scores for us?
Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to find it. Oh, here it is. There we go. 41-17.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll let you go ahead, Mr. Playboy. What you got to say on in this game? Guys, if he's that Mr. Playboy stepped out for just a moment. So I'll go ahead and just take over for this for just a moment before he comes back, gives us his opinion on it. Guys, just from looking at this score, it is obvious that this game was not even close. You could tell by the stats and what we are looking at here as well. I can't see as well as Mr. Playboy, but I am looking at him. Right now, when you look at Graham Mertz, his passing game, he was 11 of 20 from the field. And he has also threw 91 yards for an average of almost 4.6 in the Florida passing game. Now, when you look at the Florida rushing, it is not bad. They did manage to get about 139 within part of it. But I'm afraid, guys, Florida is going to have a tough time, especially when they get ready to compete in the SEC competition starting in just a few weeks.
Oh, yeah, I'm back.
Now, welcome back, Mr. Playboy. Mr. Playboy, I'm going to let you touch on Miami's side of the ball. I've just explained Florida's game and how they have struggled with their passing and rushing game. But I would like to touch your opinion on what is Miami's greatest strength coming out from this game.
Well, I gotta say, I'll give a shout out to Mario Cristobal for improving Miami in this season, and I know they had a little bit of a good season coming out of last year. A decent season.
Yes. And may I also just suggest this, Mr. Playboy, when you look at the stats from looking at Mr. Cam Ward, he has threw 385 yards throughout this game. That is unbelievable.
Oh yeah.
And looking at the rushing game, it was split very well down the middle between most of their team, but I also would like to look at the receiving stats if you wouldn't care to scroll.
Oh, yeah, the receiving stats.
Yes, let us scroll. We'd like to scroll down and
Oh, yeah,
look
here
at.
it is. Miami
Guys,
receiving
look at those.
stats.
Now, guys, you guys have got to look at this receiving stats here. Good old Mr. Xavier Restrop, and I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, from the University of Miami. He has put up 112 yards this game, whereas
Wow.
Eugene Wilson III from the University of Florida has put up 50 yards. Guys, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but when you look and compare to the stats and distribution from both teams, Miami has successfully done what it needed, and that was control the tempo of the game, maintain ball distribution, and make sure they kept the pace of the game at their own way to pull out the win, especially at Gainesville.
Oh, yes, and it's a rough environment. Florida is a rough environment to be in.
Guys, if you have any experience in Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, I have had some family gone down there. It is a very hard environment to play in, especially in this conference. We have seen it from games of the previous years, like Tennessee struggled down in Florida, and that's why they have not been able to win down there in a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with teams like Alabama, the LSU Tigers. You also had teams like Auburn and Kentucky that managed to go down there every once in a while to beat them. But, guys, let me just tell you that this is not an easy environment to play in. Now,
No.
this one, looking at the stats, Miami did do what they needed to do, and it took them a hard-fought fight. But in the end, Miami did manage to come out on top, and now Miami is on a 1-0 heading into next week for a matchup with who is our Miami Hurricanes playing, Mr. Playboy? Would you care to look at the schedule for the
Dreamcast recap, play-by-play, team stats, videos, play fantasy football.
We may have to search that up we may have to
schedule. Here we go.
There's a schedule. Perfect. That's what exactly.
Saturday, August 24th, 2024. Hey, that's my birthday, by the way.
Let's see.
Thursday,
which, by the way, let's see. Let's scroll on down. We're looking for our ACC friends. Let's look.
OTC, Saturday, August 31st. Schedule.
Let's see. We may have,
hold on.
Yeah, it's going to go to next week. We may have to go.
Oh, hold on a minute. I think I.
Oh. Don't worry, guys. We are also not used to the website. They have changed the format within the last few years, so you just have to bear witness to what we see right there.
Oh, number 19.
Miami. We got Miami.
They got to play Florida A&M.
Yeah. So, guys, they will be 1-0 going into the Florida A&M game. But now, let us look at the Florida Gators schedule.
Florida Gators. Let's check out the Florida's schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, we may have to. Yeah, we're gonna have to click on theirs.
They could play Sanford.
All right, scroll down for us, Mr. Playboy.
Yeah,
why don't you scroll down for us real quick?
Oh yeah.
All right, guys. So obviously, you can see the schedule on the left for the University of Florida. They have just now officially lost to Miami. Yep. Now they will be hosting a home game against Sanford. I'm gonna give the go ahead. That's probably going to even the playing field for 1-1. But, guys, it's where you start to go from here. This is where the schedule kind of gets a little bit tedious here. As they will have to host Texas A&M. Personally, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to give Texas A&M the win on this one. Looking at Mississippi State.
And
unfortunately, I want to give a special shout-out to the former coach, and may he rest in peace in Mike Leach.
Oh, yeah.
But ever since his passing, this program has failed to meet expectations. And so Mississippi State, I think, will be falling short to Florida. So you look at a 2-2 bout going in to UCF. Now, guys, I would probably say UCF, it is a very tough program, especially considering Gus Malzahn is the head coach of this team. But, Mr. Playboy, I'm going to have to suggest what you would think that UCF holds on or do you see Florida potentially stealing this one
I think
at home?
Florida might probably steal this game. I think probably. It could go either way.
Guys, I think Billy Napier could save himself on this one, but then here, your second half is where it starts to kind of get a little bit more. As the Gators will travel on the road to a hostile environment in our hometown in Knoxville to watch to play the Tennessee Volunteers in Neyland.
Oh,
Guys,
boy.
I'm going to just tell you this: if you have not watched the Volunteers today, it could change honestly with teams and health and all. But let me just tell you, with the way the Vols look like, I'm going to give the win in a close bout to the Volunteers. So you look at them, and now you're 3-3. You go on the road to Kentucky. Guys, Kentucky has always given Florida a close game. But I'm going to give the win to Florida because I think Kentucky is biting off more than they could chew in their situation. So you go and you look at a potential 4-3. Obviously, now we do Georgia. Guys, Georgia, until somebody proves that they can match Georgia in this rivalry game has pretty much maintained the lead on it. I'm going to give this one to Georgia. So now we're looking at 4-4, and you're heading to Texas. Texas on the road at Gainesville.
And like I said, like Ric Flair said, in order to beat the man, you gotta beat the man. In order to be the man, you gotta beat the man.
And unfortunately, guys,
to
be at Texas to win, it is very, very low. So, guys, we are looking at a 4-5. LSU, I expect the same thing. LSU, they're a really good team. I expect really low results from that. So you're down to 4-6. Ole Miss, this is where injuries start to pile up on you guys. Injuries could play a factor into this. And so Ole Miss might go back and forth, but again, injuries can cost you. So you look at 4-7. And then last, you are at Florida State. Florida State is probably going to be looking after whoever they play on this schedule, and especially in this rivalry game, they're going to be looking at it for a potential 4-8 season.
Wow.
Guys, I'm just telling you. Now, honestly, I could see them winning 5 games. Honestly, I like to say Florida could beat Florida State, but even though I'm a Tennessee guy, I'm kind of giving you guys the benefit of the doubt on that game. But I'm sorry, but this season could potentially be – it might be good for Florida fans because I know they're dying to see Billy Napier go. Could this be Billy Napier's last season in Gainesville?
Couldn't be.
I personally am going to tell Florida fans, and without respect, I potentially think that this will not be his last season.
Probably not.
Now, I could be wrong. Now, you guys might think I'm a fool for saying that, but I will go ahead and tell you, I think that if they were to fire him, it will happen right after the Tennessee potential into the Kentucky game. About halfway of the season, you will have your determined, maybe sooner, depending on how the fan base would react. But just from looking at what we're seeing, it may happen a lot sooner than that. We shall see, guys. We have just started the season back. Florida, don't lose hope. You guys have 11 games still. It's one game. But here's what I will say. I don't care really what happens because, honestly, you guys are really you guys kind of really need to figure out things with your program. Sorry, guys.
Yep, especially Florida State. Florida State coming after a loss against
Georgia Florida
Tech.
State, you guys we need to go to them too.
Yeah, Florida State.
Florida State, don't think you guys are getting out of the picture yet. We are here to talk about sports, and we're going to start with them.
And they got to play Boston College on Monday.
Guys, undefeated ACC schedule. Now, I'm going to let my partner in crime take over for this one because he has a few things he likes to say about you guys.
Well, Florida State. I know I have a friend who's also somewhat of a Florida State fan, and that's Silver Bells. But you guys had a tied game but you could have won this game. But it went to Georgia Tech.
Mm-hmm.
But what a game that was. But now they have to play Boston College at 7:30 on a Monday.
Wow. Boston College. That's an interesting matchup.
Oh, yeah. And also, they have to play our good old friends, Memphis, at 12.
Yeah. Guys, I will just tell you this. Memphis will not lay down, as it will be a brawl in their backyard.
Oh, yeah.
Not Miami, but in Florida State, I mean. Don't
Oh,
quote
yeah.
me on that, guy.
And then we got California.
California, I think that's a walk-off win for the Seminoles. Now, guys, this is where it kind of gets interesting because we start to go into at SMU and then at home against Clemson. I think you
Ooh.
split one of those games. I think you drop the home game to Clemson, but at SMU, you still the win on the road to lead up to a potential at Duke. Now, Duke
man.
has hired a new coach recently, and it will but to be honest, I'd rather go with the whole saying, whatever you know best is what you know more. And we know more about Florida State, so give us Florida State for Duke. And then we go off to Mr. Playboy's good old Miami Heat Seminoles game. Who do you got on that? Who do you got that, Mr. Playboy?
You know, I think Miami might have a good, decent fight against Florida State, in my opinion.
You heard it, guys. Florida State is getting the thumbs down from Mr. Playboy. But that might be his fan favoritism, guys. Don't worry. We try to keep him attached.
Yeah, but Miami will fight.
And they fight will indeed happen as they try to sneak away to get back on the win column against North Carolina at home. Guys, I do see that potentially happening, but it's when we get to the next game as they will face Notre Dame. And guys, I have no feeling that Notre Dame will pull out a win on this one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So with the loss to Notre Dame, that puts them at an 8-3 season, Mr. Playboy. Is that correct?
I can see that 8-3 season.
So, or actually, no, more like our statistics are off at more of an more of a 5-3 for the year. And so, guys, we go back to the last two games, and they pick up a win in Charlotte to go to 8-3, and they will finish 8-4. As I think Florida will steal the win in the game at Florida, or Florida State's at home. So Florida will steal the win on the road.
Oh yeah. But now,
so Seminoles, you guys will potentially have an okay season. Do I expect you to make the playoffs? No, I'm probably going to end up more than likely. It's either going to be a high stake in Miami this year, or it might end up being going to Clemson. But depending on how I saw after today, I think Miami's got this conference in the bag for me.
And look at Notre Dame and Texas A&M are tied right now in the second quarter.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And also we got Alabama pulling out a win probably tonight.
But now, let us talk about but I know there's a lot of people that love our channel because of one thing. Mr. Playboy, bring up our hometown team, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Oh,
yes. We need to give them a moment for all the fans and for all of you that don't like Tennessee. Too bad, too sad.
So sad.
This is going to be a moment of glory for the Volunteers.
Oh, yes. Our good old friends.
Now, guys, you guys are saying, but Mr. Playboy, Mr. Vols fan, these guys have just played one game, and it was against a nobody team. Well, let me just go ahead and tell you. So is Alabama. So is Minnesota, and all the other Power 5 teams in the country.
Even Ole
They're
Miss
playing a
right
bunch
now
of
is playing
nobodies,
against
too.
one.
It is 1 week game, but guess what? We are going to talk about it because we have just witnessed a quarterback that has. Let's look at his stats here.
Oh,
He
yeah.
has threw 22 of 28 for Mr. Nico Imalava. All right, don't jinx me, Tennessee Vol family. I know you guys are probably laughing at False Fan and Mr. Playboy for pronouncing, but we like to call him. He is the man himself. Mr. Nico has done what he's done to do. He may have played one half, but when you put up 300 yards to put up a school record, that tells you right there, ladies and gentlemen, we have found our answer in him.
Oh,
we
yes.
trust Nico, and he has put this team back onto the mountaintop that needs to be college football.
Oh, yeah. You want to go ahead and check out Tennessee's schedule, or do you want to look more at the stats?
I think you know what. I think we can look at stats a little bit more, and then after that, we will head over and check on the remaining schedule for Tennessee.
Oh, yeah. But let's see. We got
So
rushing.
guys, kind of looking at, we got one guy who I am very proud of, Dante Thorne. Can we give a shout out to Dante Thorne for his efforts today? What can I say? This man, guys, if you have watched back to last season, he has done what needs to be done, and that was just pick up from his injuries, and he has done just that. Bruce McCoy, he's also stood out a little bit. I'm going to give him the bye for this week because obviously they're trying to get warmed up, but he still put up pretty good stats.
Even Bishop and even Deacon Bishop and Dylan Sampson.
Yes, Dylan Sampson. We have got to talk about this running back group. Guys, this running back group is by far the best talented we have seen at Tennessee for quite some time. I also would like to say thank you to all the hard worker talent and all the workers at the University of Tennessee. Thank you for putting this group together.
And also
thank you
School
for help. And also thank to the staff and that works with Neyland Stadium to make it the best team in all college sports. Don't quote me on that, folks. I know you all have some bias against your own team. Too bad. This is the Vols channel supporter. If you don't like it, too bad.
Yep. But now let's check in with the schedule. What Tennessee has faced going in.
Now, let's get to the nitty-gritty.
Yes.
Tennessee football schedule. We are going to be traveling, Fall family, to North Carolina State for the Duke Mayo Bowl extravaganza that will be hosting this. And also, guys, if you do not know, I have a hunch that we play a hard-fought win on the road at NC State. And then we set up for Kent State at home at Neyland Stadium. That's going to be 3-0. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to throw the honesty and most honesties. Oklahoma. I truly think that Oklahoma will be a test of strength for the SEC.
Yeah.
My money is I think that we lose to Oklahoma to start off the season.
Not to mention that's Coach Heupel's own stomping grounds is Oklahoma.
Guys, I'm going to throw – the only reason why I say that is because, guys, this will be truly the first road test in the SEC. And with Heupel going back to old stomping grounds, it will be a hard-fought game. But in the end, I think Heupel will fall short to the Sooners. And so now we look at a revenge game in Arkansas. I think we pull out a way with Arkansas to go 4-1 to start the season. Now, guys, we get to the next point of view where we go up to home for Florida and Alabama. Guys, I think we pull off a hard win at Florida. Now, Alabama, I think it could be. I think that this will be some determination, especially after last season. I think Alabama comes in and we take care of business against the Crimson Tide to move in for that 6-1, I believe, to start off.
Oh yeah.
And then, Kentucky coming into town. I think that we also beat the crap out of Kentucky. Now, don't give me now, guys. I know you don't because my the rivalry we have with Kentucky, my feelings towards Kentucky. But I can assure you, both teams will be motivated to come into this with a chip on their own shoulder. But at the end of the day, guys, Neyland Stadium's going to be rocking. The Vols are going to be popping, and Kentucky is going to be sloppy as usual. Usually going into Neyland Stadium, and I think that the Cats will fall. It might be a close game. I'm going to say that. But I think at the end of the day, I think the Cats are going to fall just a little bit short to the Volunteers once again for win number 4 in that conference. Coach Josh Heupel.
Oh, yeah. And also we got Mississippi State.
Yes. Miss Playboy, care to tell us the remaining thoughts in your time for these last 4 points?
Well, I think we might pull off a win against Mississippi State.
Yes, I would probably have to agree with you on that, considering the shape of their program and their motivation. I think it'll be a hard-fought game, but in the end, I think we will pull out with a win in that.
And then we got public enemy number 1, I should say, or public face number 1, Georgia.
Georgia. Miss Playboy, what are your thoughts on this Georgia game?
I think this game could go either way, but
I truly think so too. But
this will be a test for Nico.
I think this will truly be a test for Nico and for the Steeler League group of Vols as they move into Stanford Stadium. Stanford Stadium will be rocking, and they will be popping as well. But I think Nico might overcome it. Would I like to see the Vols win? Yeah, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to give it to the Bulldogs. Until somebody can go in there and prove that they can win, I'm going to have to give it to Georgia. Now, I always have optimism that the Vols can win. But until they prove it, it appears that Nico might fall a little bit short. But I definitely say we will go in there and we will play to the very best of our abilities. And we can win.
And then we got UTEP. Now, I've heard a little bit about UTEP, and I know there's one person called Squidthard Sports, and he talked a little bit about UTEP. Now, I don't know a little bit about UTEP, and I've actually watched some of their game against Nebraska, I think it was, today.
Yes. I've also heard about UTEP. UTEP is kind of a smaller program, but in the end, the Vols, I think, will get it done. And then, of course, guys, we have to put little brother Vandy at the last for the rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And as we go into Vanderbilt, we're going to take care of business and once again show them why they will always.
But also, shout out to Vanderbilt against Virginia Tech.
Yes, but even though we are rivals, congratulations to the Commodores for their solid win and demonstrating why the SEC is still better than any of those in the ACC. Sorry, guys.
Yep.
But SEC just means more.
Yep. Let's check out Vanderbilt, actually.
Let us check out Vanderbilt. See, guys, we are looking at that. They only got an 85% chance of us winning, which is, I think, is almost everybody's got a 70% chance or more. Sorry, Vanderbilt. We love you guys, though. Anyway, Vanderbilt, they have got quite an interesting schedule. So they are going to be playing Akron State. I think they beat them. Georgia State, that might go either way, but I'm going to give that to Georgia State. So they can go 2-1. And then we got Missouri. Obviously, Missouri's going to beat them because that's Missouri. You got Alabama, so that's already an automatic loss. So you're looking at pretty much a 2-3 right there.
Yeah.
Kentucky, definitely going to beat them. Ball State, so let's look at 4-4. Texas, they will beat them.
And then we got at Auburn.
Definitely going to beat them. South Carolina, guys, I'm going to throw this out there. I think Vanderbilt might surprise and beat South Carolina.
Oh, wow.
I have that as a surprise game for the Commodores. Now, obviously, Gamecocks, yes, I know how you guys like the Beaver Ball. I think Beaver Ball is going to fail you guys, as that will set up a potential game bowl eligible at LSU. Obviously, that's not going to happen. And then, of course, last game is against the Volunteers, which they dropped. So you're looking at a 5 to 7 win year for the Commodores.
Oh,
That is big for this program, especially guys after only winning 2 games last year. I think that this would be big for the Commodores going into next season. Now, I could also see them going 6-6 at the highest by winning that game against Georgia State. But who knows? We will have to wait and see.
And then we got Clemson and Georgia and Penn State and West Virginia.
West Virginia.
34-12 and
We got a lot.
to 34.
Yeah. Guys, we have a lot of football left to play, but if you are in the losing columns this week, here's my best advice. Look at the game plan, study the film, look over your targets of what you can and try to do better. Because if you don't do improvements, you guys are especially fine for the playoff spots. You guys are going to be doomed to repeat yourselves by once again failing to learn from history, and you will be doomed to repeat yourselves.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Playmaker, I know I've talked a lot all night. Why don't we let you talk for a while? I'd like to hear your thoughts on everything that's happening in college sports.
Well, it's been entertaining. I know Tennessee's picked up a new, I think a 5-star, if I'm correct, recently.
Yes, Mr. Faison Bennett.
Yes. And I think this is going to be the best program we might have probably have ever seen. A sleeper program, I should say, in Tennessee.
College world, I'm afraid you have woken a sleeping giant.
Or as Bradshaw Latefield would say, what's his name in WWE? Hold on, I know his name. JBL or John Bradshaw Latefield would say, "You are looking at a wrestling god."
You are looking at a college football god. But guys, that is pretty much all that we have for tonight on this first episode of Sports Talk. Mr. Playboy, do you have any other final saying before we call it up, before we head into next week for episode 2?
Well, for episode 2, it's going to be good. And also stay tuned for more videos. I'm starting college football videos, so stay tuned for those. And you might see some cameos in there by yours truly, Balls Fan, or DX Man #1 on YouTube, and also Silver Bells, or the Silver Bell Show on YouTube. So you might see some of them, some games, where will probably do more videos going over victories and defeats of some teams coming into this 2024 season. It's going to be interesting to see what this season has in store.
Oh, yeah. But that is it, Mr. Playboy. I am officially out of Sports Talk for the day. So I will see you later, my friend.
All right, I see you, and also see everyone else, and also feel free to like and